Can parents really trust apps designed for their kids? What if the apps aren't following privacy laws? Today, we're unpacking Pixalate's latest findings on teacher-approved apps in the Google Play Store, diving into the privacy risks and data sharing insights. I'm Maddie, Director of Content Strategy and Development here at Pixalate, and today I'm joined by our Vice President of Research and Platform Growth, Tyler Lochner, who co-authored the report to discuss key findings. Tyler, for context, what exactly does teacher-approved mean in the Google Play Store?
So it's a program that was launched in 2020 by Google, and it means that the apps have been evaluated by a Google-appointed board of educators and children education experts for apps that are marked as appropriate for kids. Google specifically says that the apps are rated based on design, appeal, enrichment, age appropriateness of ads, in-app purchases, and cross-promotion. So in theory, it's a badge that parents can trust. It's a badge that the ad ecosystem by extension can trust, that these apps are doing the right thing. But Pixalate's research indicates that the opposite is happening, at least for a certain subset of these apps. The badge suggests trustworthiness, but we found many apps aren't meeting privacy standards, particularly around COPPA compliance.
And remind us again what COPPA compliance entails.
Yeah, COPPA stands for the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and compliance is about protecting children's personal information online. It requires apps directed at children under the age of 13 to provide notice and obtain verifiable parental consent, or VPC, before collecting and sharing any personal information, including details like IP address, device identifiers, location. The goal is to ensure that parents have control over how their child's data is used.
Okay, so the badge that suggests these apps are safe might be leading parents and ad partners to believe certain apps are COPPA compliant when they actually aren't.
So Google doesn't make any claims about COPPA compliance on these apps, but again, as we stated before, in theory, these apps have a higher level of standard. They've been teacher reviewed, but what our research shows is that not every aspect that at least Pixalate believes should have been reviewed, including these privacy standards that meet COPPA compliance. They don't seem to have all been reviewed, and if they were reviewed, they don't seem to be being enforced by the Google Play Store. So specifically around VPC, that's a cornerstone of COPPA. Without it, apps should not be collecting or sharing kids' personal data unless they meet certain very specific exceptions provided in the law, but some do not appear to be doing that based on our data.
And how big of an issue is this really? What do parents need to know and understand?
So Pixalate analyzed about 9,800 apps in the Google Teacher Approved program, and 50% of those apps have an app.ads.txt file, which means the apps are enabled for programmatic advertising, which can include targeted advertising. These apps have over 85 million user ratings across them. I'm talking about the apps that have programmatic advertising enabled. And specifically, Pixalate has a team of teachers called the Trust and Safety Advisory Board that manually reviews apps for child directedness and also checks for VPC on the apps. Pixalate's team of teachers reviewed a subset of these teacher-approved apps and found that there were 23 million user ratings on apps that were sharing personal information in the advertising bid stream without obtaining VPC.
All right, and main takeaways.
The Google Play Store Teacher Approved program is a good step that ensures apps have been reviewed by a panel of experts, manually reviewed. It makes it easier for parents to find age-appropriate content for children. The Apple App Store actually does not have a program like that, at least not publicly. They do have the kids section, but they don't have this concept of a teacher-approved badge that has been manually reviewed. However, our research does indicate that children's privacy might be taking a back seat here, which is troubling in and of itself, especially when you consider that COPPA has been around for nearly 25 years. So if apps are being labeled as quote unquote teacher approved, the data sharing implications via advertising need to be more transparent as well.
It's a lot to think through and a lot to consider. To dive deeper into the findings, download the full report for free at pixalate.com/reports. You can also click the link in the video description to get there directly. If you have any questions about teacher approved apps or any of our other reports, don't hesitate to reach out at info@pixalate.com.